What to look for in a woman. These are my personal opinions. I'm 60. I grew up at a time when the roles were more traditional still. But I think that a lot of men want a woman who is pretty, nice, and intelligent. At least that's what my dad taught me, and that's what I go by. But guys, feel free to add on. I would also add that a woman ought to be a good mother and a good housekeeper and somewhat of a homebody, have a homebody element to her, which means that she loves making a home and her home is a cozy, beautiful place. Personally, I like a lot of flowers, so I picked these today on my run. I need to cut them a little bit. Um, I have a plant in here, but like my dad always had like a rose garden, and they were in the spring and summer, always fresh roses in the house. Um, I grew up, in an older era when women were still at home and they made a home, and I think this is really nice. So let's talk about this. Pretty. A woman ought to be pretty. She ought to take care of her body and her health. So when you're looking for women, kind of check out, like, is she a lot of people are really fit because they're young. In their 20s, everyone is fit. But unless someone is working out and watching and eating healthy and getting enough sleep, they're going to start putting on weight. And that's why you end up, actually, I think 75% of Americans in their 20s are overweight. And after 40, when your metabolism slows, you're really going to put on the weight. And the only people that maintain a nice figure throughout pregnancy, after children, and after metabolism slows, for men and for women, are people who work out. So if you want a woman who's fit, you got to just date women who are already exercising, have some kind of exercise practice, and who eat healthy foods. Because that hot chicken who's 22, who's just eating whatever crap and not exercising, she's going to be a bloater eventually. Chances are, okay? So to look for a woman who, and also how someone dresses. Like, do you like someone who wears dresses or who's more sporty and all of that? I personally think what makes a woman attractive is a very natural look. I talk about Kate Middleton, Jackie Onassis, very natural. That's what I like. You might like something different. But ladies, you don't have to do a bunch of stuff to be attractive to men. You can just be natural, healthy. Like short nails are fine. You don't need breast implants. You don't need fake lips. A lot of guys don't like that stuff. You don't need Botox, and you don't need plastic surgery on your face. You don't need fake breasts. You don't need any of that. Just know that your body is a reflection of the kind of life that you're living. The same as for a guy, right? We evaluate men. We like fit men, not just because if they look good, but it also shows us that they're disciplined. And that's an attractive quality, and that they're healthy. All right, so I would say how someone dresses, if they're natural, and that they have a healthy lifestyle. Very important, I think. Nice. So as far as being nice, I would say that she appreciates a man and thanks him for the things he does, that she adores him, that she values him, that she cares how he feels, that she makes him feel like a man. Like none of that Jada Pinkett Smith crap of humiliating her man. Like, she doesn't put him down in front of other people. She never flirts with other men. In fact, she has no other male friends. Not really, unless there's a good reason for it. She doesn't look for attention from other men. She dresses modestly and she treats you well and she wants to do things for you. She likes to cook for you. She likes to clean for you. She likes to have sex with you. She picks up your dry cleaning. She makes your favorite dinner, you know. She's happy when you come home. She's pleasant. She laughs at your jokes. She likes your company. She's not just with you for your money. She encourages you. She supports you. And she also has good boundaries. Like if you fall out of line, she's going to say something. She doesn't blame you for her moods, make you responsible for her emotions. Like she's just nice, but not in a people-pleasing way. Like she's just a happy, nice person. I hope you know people like that. So look for that in a woman, someone who's genuinely nice. The third thing is intelligent. You're going to be talking a lot to this person if you're dating or living together. Do you have anything to talk about in common? Does she have any interests, hobbies? Does she like to read? Can she have a conversation about something that you care about? I mean, you might know, I just know from talking with guys, a lot of guys have interests very different from mine. They like to golf. They love reading about history, like wars. They like to hunt. Like, I don't like any of that, which is fine. But I can have a conversation with a guy about the economy or business or careers, social media, you know, relationships, the stuff I talk about in my videos. Like, do you have anything? Does this woman read, have discussions, learn? Does she have something going on that's interesting? Something, do you enjoy talking to her? So those three things, being pretty, being nice, and being intelligent, to whatever degree. You don't have to have like a high IQ. Just have something to talk about. Don't be an airhead. And then finally, I would say, you know, is this woman someone that can make a home and be feminine? I think deep down men just want to be a woman who's pretty, who makes them a nice dinner, and who's agreeable and say, babe, how was your day? You know? They don't want to be responsible for our emotions. They don't want to be responsible for the things in ourselves that we're lacking. And that's why I think relationships have to really come from, each of us has to think like, what am I bringing to the table? And as women, those of you who are single, I think some very good things, there are things we can do besides go out looking for men. And the things we can do are nourishing, are those three qualities. Being pretty, nice, and intelligent, nourishing those qualities. And I'm going to add a fourth one actually, which is about making a home. If you just start nourishing these feminine qualities, I think you're just going to exude a lot of feminine energy to be attractive to men. Like homebody, you know, cleaning your house, cooking dinner, baking cookies, sharing them with the neighbor, knitting, you know, cleaning your home, cleaning the windows, picking flowers, you know, making little flower arrangements, polishing the wood, you know, having people over for dinner, like these kind of nourishing activities. Being pretty, you know, if you're not already, you know, start working out, wear some pretty clothes when you go out, start wearing some dresses when you go out. You don't have to wear heels, you can wear flat shoes, but just put on a dress. Maybe some pearls or some pretty jewelry or whatever. Start being nice to men. Start noticing how you think about men. Just start being nice without needing them to be nice to you first. Just start saying hi to men. Start thinking about what life is like for them and appreciate them a little bit more. And if you've had bad experience with men, put that aside because that was your past and now you're just going to draw in good men. The more you can be like happy and open-hearted, that's going to make you more attractive to yourself too. And then intelligent, get some interest, read some books, learn something new, go somewhere new. And for men to be attractive to women, you kind of have to do the same thing. You have to be physically fit and attractive and reasonably well-dressed. You have to be kind and generous, not like women are bitches, I'm just going to use women, can you give me some pussy? You got to be solid in yourself, have something going on, have something to offer, you know, that makes a woman want to be with you and be interesting. I think above all, a man who If you want a woman to fall for you, guys, all you have to do is be on point in your career. Don't be needy looking for women all the time. Be content in yourself. Focus on your career and your fitness and how how you dress. If you focus on your career and your fitness and how you dress, you're going to have a lot of confidence, especially the fitness part and lifting weights. It's going to build your testosterone, your confidence. And you're going to just draw in the women. And if you don't, I'm going to be surprised, because if you feel good if you're on point in your career, your mission, and you're working out and dressing reasonably well, and you feel good and you're happy, you're going to be attractive to women. You don't even have to try. And ladies, if you're feminine and you're nice and you're interesting and you're modest, you're going to be attractive to a lot of men. And that's what I think. And what I'm really getting at here is watching all these videos on YouTube. I don't know how real all this is, but it just seems like men are really upset with entitled women who are very angry and masculine and just use them for money. And women are very upset with men who are either too feminized or just wanting sex right away, who are very needy for sex, instead of really offering a relationship because they feel they have nothing to offer. And I'm just trying to figure out how we can bridge this divide, because these are conversations we need to have. If we want to be excited again about relationships that are juicy and fun and fulfilling, we have to be willing to change ourselves. And what is my part in this? What can I contribute? How can I be more attractive to the opposite sex? What do I need to do in myself? Because it is not true that women are all bitches and men are all assholes. That is not true. There are good people everywhere, and we can all change and make ourselves better people. And that's what this channel is really meant to be all about. I personally, when I see my clients or these young guys who are single, I always try to help them out and give them these pointers. And if I have a younger man in his 30s and he's right on point with his career and making money and everything, I tell him, I wake him up. I'm like, you have a lot of options. You're good looking, you're confident, you have a good career going. Don't settle for any woman. You have a lot of options. Make sure you get exactly the kind of woman you want. And they're out there. You guys have to make some better choices. I feel like guys have it a lot easier because there are so many more women looking for men who have it together. And I think that you as a man, if you have it together, you can definitely get a woman. But you have to pick a good woman who is going to add to your life instead of just being a nice piece of ass that's going to drag you down. Because if you're with a woman who spends too much of your money, you will always be broke. If you're with a woman who blames you whenever there's an argument, or who drinks too much, or who is still attached to mommy and daddy, that's going to bring you down. It's going to make your life miserable. Look at Will Smith. He married a toxic nightmare from hell. But the reason he picked her is his own issues. So if you're attracted to women who hurt you and bring you down, you need to get to therapy before you do any dating. Same for women. If you're attracted to men who use you, bring you down, manipulate you, just use you for sex, hit you, abuse you, neglect you, you need therapy more than you need dating. And that is actually really great, because the world mirrors, our life mirrors who we are, right? Whatever I think and believe is evident from what I see around me, because we create, most of us have the ability to create our life based on our internal state. So if your life isn't going the way you want, it's time to look at yourself. Like, what am I bringing to the table? Where am I seeing negative things? Where am I being close-minded? Where am I being close-hearted? How am I contributing to this situation? Where am I not trusting? Where do I lack boundaries? Where am I attracted to the wrong people, and why? You might want to do some inner child work, inner healing work, get some therapy, go see a therapist, do some life coaching. You can talk to me, talk to some of your friends, get some feedback, see where you can level up and make some changes, because I see people in happy relationships, and I see people in fake ass relationships. And I think that we all have to take responsibility for the kinds of relationships we're in, because just like with my girlfriends, you know, some of my friendships have ended because it wasn't a good fit anymore. I wasn't a good friend. She wasn't a good friend. And in our friendships too, we have to negotiate. We have to speak up. I don't like this. You know, I don't like this. And it's an opportunity to grow. And one of my friends called me out recently for a couple things where I had to level up. And I appreciated that. I'm like, the things you're asking me to do, I got to step it up. And I appreciate that. And that's what you want. Someone who is willing to listen to your feedback, step up their game, be a better version of themselves, not someone who gets mad at you for pointing out the flaws, you know? But people like that exist. And a good place to find people like that would be a place like Landmark Education, where you do personal development stuff, maybe even 12-step meetings, where any place where people are working on their personal development. But just rest assured that there are a lot of snakes hiding in those places too, because I've come across that too. So that's not necessarily a good thing to go on, but I would look for someone who's actually done work on themselves and who's had like a difficult life where they had to go through some changes and introspection, because it makes people start to realize that they have to take responsibility for something. I would avoid people who are always victims. Avoid victims at all costs. No victims, because when you're with someone who's a victim, and a lot of you guys like women because they're hot, but they're sleazy. They show their body to everyone. They're constant victims. You know, they want you to pay everything for them. They're just entitled little bitches. This is what you got to do. Think about it this way. Guys, you see this woman and she's hot. I think this is how guys think. They're like, she's really hot. I want to date this woman. I want to smash this woman. I want this woman to be my wife. Okay, now imagine that you're blind. You can never see her again. Or imagine that she has like something happens to her skin where she gets acne. No, that's not good. Imagine that you're blind for a week. And the only interaction you can have with this woman is through talking, hearing her voice, just being in her company. Do you still want to be with her? If you can't have sex with her and you can't look at her and you can't show her off to your friends, would you want to be with her? Because is she really adding to your life? I know, I just think a lot of us are just making really bad choices. And so I think, I'm just trying to kind of help everybody out here. I hope this video was helpful. Keep drinking your water and take good care of yourself, because in the end, a lot of us are going to spend half of our lives alone anyway. And no one else is going to come to the rescue. And one more thing I want to say about relationships is that I'll make a separate video about sexual attraction. This is it for now. Thank you for watching.